Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Alright, how is everyone doing? Welcome aboard to another episode of Game Over Calgary. You are watching the recap post game show between the Dallas Stars and the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames and their gauntlet run in the road trip by losing it in overtime 3-2. A decent game overall. Welcome to our viewers already. Matsy, welcome aboard. We'll talk about Dan Blatter shortly. How important of a stretch. Maybe I have something to connect with, so stay tuned. Bring your thoughts and questions in. Of course, it's going to be the trade deadline as well. We'll talk about a few things. Can we link to any players? Are you interested to see anybody come to the Flames? All that more. Put them in the chat below. We'll get to them all shortly as well. And then Johnny Goodrow Forever says good game as well. So, let's get started. Hopefully you didn't lose me there. But we are underway on your Flames Talk. For your Flames Talk, Flames Chat, whatever you call it. Of course, there is an official Flames Talk show as well. But we'll start with the first period where the Calgary Flames came out strong. They had 1-0 lead. They kept it all through. They played a good entire first period. Joel Farabee undresses 3 defensemen and scores a beauty from the Flames. I think Joel Farabee had his best game as a Flames today, and it was so amazing to see. I don't know if you all saw my Instagram or social media. Just a fun thought, if you want to go follow me at CJY_Anand. Joel Farabee actually recognized one of my videos. So I'm kind of a local celebrity if you want to call me. But ever since Joel Farabee recognized me, I've been a fan favorite of Joel Farabee. And him getting the best game of his day, it's amazing. But could the Flames have come up with a win? Definitely. Kevin Ball has been great. And the team missed him whenever he was away. He was injured. But now that he's back, the team is so confident. They are ready to play. The defensive was perfect. And the penalty kill as well. This road trip, they've had such an amazing penalty kill. They've killed 14 out of 14 penalties, at least from the last 3 games. They have had blocks. They have blocked high danger chances as well. And they have kept it to a limit. So you can thank Kevin Ball and the penalty killing unit for doing that. Welcome to our new viewers as well. Amit Udeshi is here. Amit, welcome aboard. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you can stay for the entire show. Bring your questions, your thoughts, and everything. Farabee was awesome tonight, indeed. High respect for Farabee. I think it was one of his best games as a Flame as of late. And then Invoke Guy says sup. Invoke Guy, welcome aboard as well. And then Johnny Goodrow, thanks for the fire emojis. Of course, the Flames. So we'll start with the first period. We'll talk about 100 career games for Dan Vladar, what I like from him. We'll talk about if a trade is imminent on him. But before that, I hate to do this to you, but it's part of my game over routine. I have to do a quick ad read. Shift into Hyperdrive Hockey and get ready to have some fun with the new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hoot, Daphne Malabov, and Kevin Lemaire every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network or subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon, or head to the GameOverNetwork.com. So, talking about Dan Vladar, Johnny Goodrow forever saying, of course, we need justice for Dan Vladar. I agree, he has been amazing. I hope we can keep the pairing or the tandem of Dan Vladar and Dustin Wolf continuing through the rest of the season. Then decide what they want to do during the summer. Maybe he walks in free agency. Does he want to stay here with the Flames? That's also another question. Do the Flames sign him? That's another question. But one thing that I think now, it may not be anything. I might be just stirring up conversation. But they signed Connor Murphy, who was in the ECHL, played for the AHL Calgary Wranglers for a bit. They signed him today to a two-way contract. So he'll be with the Calgary Wranglers. I don't know if he'll get NHL time though, but I wonder if a Dan Vladar move is coming to Wolf and Cooley to take on the crease. We'll have to wait and see. It's tomorrow's the trade deadline. I don't know if anything will be imminent, like I said. Dan Vladar was amazing tonight. He makes some key saves. He could have maybe stopped that 2-2 tying goal, but he tried his best. He bailed out the team as well, even in overtime. Nazim Kadri almost missed an open net opportunity that costed the Flames, and the Flames end the road trip with a 2-2-0 record. Little fun, all the twos across the board. So Dan Vladar also hit his 100 NHL games this evening. Congratulations to him. He has been amazing goaltender. Apart from the rough stretch, maybe he had from late last year to maybe January or so, he has rebounded well each time he has started. It will be curious to see what happens tomorrow. Trade deadline tomorrow. Hope you will see the coverage. We will try to have some trade deadline coverage as well. Tune into my social media channels as well. I'll have some coverage for you there. But we'll have to see if a trade is imminent for Dan Vladar. Other players we'll talk about towards the end. If you have any intriguing players that you want to ask me, put them in the chat below so I can get them to shortly. But just a summary overall, Dan Vladar hit 100 games today. This evening. He's been amazing. But once again, I link back to the conversation. Why did they sign Connor Murphy? So now they have technically four goalies in the organization. It's Walter Ignatiev, Devin Cooley. Now, actually, five actually. Devin Cooley, Connor Murphy, Dustin Wolf, and Dan Vladar. So they are carrying technically five within this organization. If you consider the minors and the NHL. So we'll have to see how they address that. We'll have to wait and see if Walter Ignacio maybe gets cleared or released. We'll see if that's a scenario, that's possibility as well. And then Joel Farabee had his best game as a Flame. Loved that goal. If you haven't watched it yet, go check out it. It should be available on social media platforms as well. And the Kevin Ball has been great. Penalty killing has been great this road trip. So lots to like coming out of this game. Hope you enjoyed this road trip. We'll do a road trip recap here soon in the second segment. But let's do a quick goal scoring summary, shall we? Why not? So it was Joel Farabee opening the scoring, assisted by Blake Coleman, the only goal in the first period. Second period, it was Michael Backlund. It shows unassisted right now. I wonder if between the Farabee and Coleman will get an assist, but great defensive play by Farabee to give Michael Backlund the chance to score. In the third period, it was Wyatt Johnston. Second period, pardon me, Wyatt Johnston, assisted by Jamie Benn and Dumba, who tied the game at 2-2. 2-1. In the third period, the only goal coming from Jason Robertson, assisted by Wayne Johnston and Rupe Hintz. So Wayne Johnston collects Wyatt Johnston collects 2 points, and Rupe Hintz on the secondary assist. And in overtime, it's Jason Robertson assisted by Rupe Hintz. So Rupe Hintz collects twice, and then Matt Duchesne. So that's your scoring summary. And let's look at a quick out of town scoreboard as well, just for fun, especially if you are looking for the scoreboard. Montreal Canadiens and the Edmonton Oilers are tied at 2. That's an all Canadian matchup. Others that impact the Flames, no other teams really. The Vancouver Canucks are in action tomorrow against the Minnesota Wild at home. We'll wait and see how that game goes. Anaheim Ducks is surprisingly playing the St. Louis Blues, both important matchups there as well. So things are definitely getting tight. Um, you would want to see the Flames. It would have been nice if they came off a 3-1 scenario against the Dallas Stars. They sort of had the game in the books, but interesting nonetheless. Good work on the road. All right, let's head to the second period. Keep your questions coming, keep your thoughts coming. I am here for you all this evening. We can chat about the trade deadline, we can chat about the road trip. Always appreciate your interaction. All right, over to the second period we go. Looking forward ways to help upstart a media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts across Canada, including me. If you have a few spare bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page. That's at the patreon.com/the Game Over Network. There you will find multiple tires featuring rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There is extra access, exclusive looks behind, and Discord benefits, merch discounts, and opportunities to give us feedback on the show. And you can also join us live for special shows. So you can head to always patreon.com/the Game Over Network for tantalizing goodies. Alright, let's go to the second period. And this time it's the successful road trip. Is it? Question mark. Let me know. I think it is. Coming off a 2-2-2 record. Some of the teams are tough, definitely. Tonight's best line, I would say, was Farabee, Backlund, and Coleman. Fantastic performance by that line. Farabee had his best game of the night. And then I did notice Kevin Rooney didn't get as much of game time in the third period. Connor Zary didn't. So it was when Ryan Husker was probably shortening the bench. He realized the fourth line didn't have as great of as a game compared to the past few they have had, especially against that Philadelphia Flyers game where Zary scored two straight goals, or two goals in total. It was Zari Kadri Zari, that one. But for this second period, great start to the second period, of course, for the Flames. Michael Backlund, great defensive play by Joel Farabee. And then Wyatt Johnston continues his hot streak for the Dallas Stars, making it 2-1. And here are the road trip results. Talking about road trip key takeaways. So they beat Washington by a score of 3-1. That's fantastic. Tampa Bay Lightning, they lost 3-0, but they did really play a good game, but ran into a hot goaltender. Florida Panthers, they were just out of gas, tired, lost 3-0. In Carolina, an important penalty kill, an important teamwork. They lost it in overtime 2-1. In Philadelphia Flyers, offensive outburst 6-3. Connor Zary, Nazim Kadri, Mac Coronato. Who else? Oh boy. I should have had that written down, but offensive burst of 6-3 win, and then Dallas Stars today overtime loss 3-2. So I think a fun overall road trip for them, a successful one. Team effort was there, team ethics was there. They didn't get too overrun. All the games were too close, and yeah, the Flames should feel proud. Despite they could have maybe gotten a win, especially in that overtime where Kadri missed an open net. They could have come up with 2 points, but it is what it is. I give them 100 100% efforts for them. And now we head into the home schedule after a season high long 6 game road trip. While my schedule loads, kudos to the broadcast team as well, who was running around, traveling miles, Sportsnet. Kudos to them. They were tracking all the miles and kilometers. Kudos to the equipment managers. Kudos to the training staff, keeping all of them healthy. Um, yeah, I think Calgary will be impressed, but they'll feel they needed to improve as well. They could have gotten pieces of those road trip, but great effort nonetheless. So my schedule is lagging a bit, so we'll come back to the outdoor schedule coming up shortly. But in the meantime, um, any questions or thoughts from the second period? I'll give a quick summary as well. What I noticed in the second period. Great start by Flames captain Michael Backlund. He got the monkey off his back. Um, I think it was like more than 10 games he hadn't scored, and that was so important for him. A nice shot with an open net chance. But it wouldn't have happened without the Joel Farabee's defensive play, getting the puck to him. That was amazing. Wyatt Johnston was a key factor for Dallas Stars to draw them back within one. Otherwise, the Flames was one of the better teams in the first period, of course, and then into the start of the second period. And then road trip, 2-2-2 record, nothing to complain. They ran into couple strong teams. It could have been a way worse road trip where they could have got maybe 0 points or maybe between 2 to 4 points, but they get a possible 6 out of 12 points, which is almost half. So good job, Flames. Good job for weathering the storm. What's up next is the home stretch. We'll see what that looks like in just a moment. If my schedule decides to load, it hasn't just yet. So we'll head into the third period. Of course, if there are no other questions or thoughts as we go along. And for the third period, let's talk about social media. Why not? I promoted my social media a little bit. If you want to, if you're enjoying this show, a couple of you are watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for spending this Thursday evening with us. It's almost the weekend. Well, make sure you hit the like button in this video. Already saw some fan reactions. Make sure to click the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. You can subscribe as well. Share it with your friends. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. We always appreciate it. We are on Blue Sky at the GameOverNetwork.com. We are on Twitter as well at GameOverNHL. We are on Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn, wherever you are on your social media platforms. And you can follow our host, Conrad Krausert. Conrad, if you're watching, good evening. Matt, DeMille, if you're watching, good evening. And then kudos to our newest hosts as well, Marek and Ruby as well. If you are all watching, good evening. Thanks for spending the Thursday evening with us. And you can also find us on our website at thegameovernetwork.com. We'll soon have newsletters for you to read as well if you're more of a reading person. I'm not really. I like talking, I like yapping, and that's my favorite part. That's why I decided to join Game Over Network and bring you live action here. So let's look at the quick schedule now that my schedule is loaded. So the Canadians are in town next. I will have that game for you on Saturday at 5 p.m. March 8, and then Conrad will take on the Wednesday Vancouver Canucks. So the Flames will have a couple days break to analyze and all. And then Avalanche is in town as well. And then the Maple Leafs are in town. Matt will have that. Um, we'll maybe have some specials down the road as well. So stay tuned always to GameOverNetwork.com, where we will bring you live action post game throughout. All right, let's head into the third period. Third period time. So I'm gonna refer to one point that they mentioned during the intermission panel. That's Ryan Leslie and Eric Francis. Credit to them, of course, if they are reporting it, of course. Eric Francis predicts Craig Conroy might add a player or two come the trade deadline tomorrow. Now, this could go two different ways. Is it short term or long term? If it's short term, they say they want to push for a playoff run, which the Flames are in currently. Let's look at the active standings as well. Once I get that updated, does the Flames have a chance for playoffs? So right now, they have played 62 games. That's all done. 29 wins, 23 losses, 10 overtime losses, sitting at 68 points. So right behind is the Vancouver Canucks, which they will play. So the Vancouver Canucks play tomorrow. They are at 67 points. The St. Louis is 2 points behind. They play tomorrow as well against the Anaheim Ducks. And then Utah Hockey Club. And then the Anaheim Ducks is also catching up. They're at 61 points. So they have had a pretty impressive season as well. Despite losing 27, they have won 27 and have 7 overtime losses. So interesting thick of races in the Western Conference wildcard spot. So if you're a fan of the Flames, you might look at this as two different ways. Are they adding it for the short term for a possible player push? Are they doing this for the long term so they can find some scoring and some energy? We'll see. It's all up to Craig Conroy. He's maybe probably working the phones right now. Maybe he's talking to other GMs, other scouts. We'll see what's in the works. You will have time until tomorrow, until 3 p.m. Eastern time, to know what's the case gonna be. That's 1 p.m. Mountain time. The Flames did assign Ilya Solovyov to the Wranglers earlier this afternoon. This is to make sure he can be part of both the NHL and the AHL roster at any point of the season. So we don't know if he'll be back for Saturday's game, depending on how the defense core is feeling. And talking about the third period of the game, a couple timely saves by Dan Vladar. Vladar could have had that 2-2 tying game goal possibly, but Jason Robertson tucks it in between Vladar. And then resiliency by Coach Ryan Huska as well. Usually he's great at shortening the bench. We saw that with Kevin Rooney. I saw that partially with Connor Zary when one of my friends pointed it out. So a couple of things to notice that as well. We'll see where Zary starts on Saturday. The fourth line didn't have much of an impact tonight, but it did have a couple looks as well. So we'll see what happens to the lines come Saturday. So the biggest topic will be heading into tonight, heading into tomorrow, which is any Flames player on the trade block? Is anybody coming in? Is anybody going out? Rasmus Anderson has been a talk. Nazem Kadri has been rumored. Joel Hanley. They're looking for a new home for Daniel Mirmanov. Dan Vladar possibly with the signing of Connor Murphy. All possibilities for the Flames to take some action. I know the media keeps on saying that they are here to keep all the veterans. We'll see what they mean by that by tomorrow. All happens will break down at 1 p.m. It will be an interesting trade deadline for not only the Flames, the other teams also. For example, Jake Wallman got a first round pick to the San Jose Sharks from the Edmonton Oilers. So that's one trade you can compare how expensive the market is right now and what the prices are really high. if you want to get a decent player. So we'll see if Conroy's prices match. We'll see if any teams is ready to call on any of these when the trade deadline comes tomorrow. All right, it's fourth period and overtime. But before that, make sure you get our merch as well. Support us. We have um, the Calgary hoodie as well. If you want to get a hoodie, we have the Calgary cup on a skater design. If you want coffee for a hot day in Calgary, it's supposed to be a little flurrying and snow next week. So if you want to prepare with this mug, you can. And you'll have t-shirt as well. So if you want to wear and be proud of us, you can do so always. Thanks for all your support. By the way, it's time for your questions now and your thoughts on the chat line. So here we go. Get them right as fast as you can before I wrap up the show. There is still time for some, but we'll start all the way on top. Matt EC, poor Vladar, can't buy a win. He had indeed had a couple wins down the stretch, but yeah, again, trending the way that he can't buy a win, which is unfortunate. But he did have a great game, though. Despite not winning, he continues to have great games and prove people wrong. Johnny Goodrow forever, if you're still hanging around, says good game. Johnny Goodrow says Anand and with a fire emoji. Amita Deshi says Farabi was awesome tonight. We talked about Farabi almost the entire first period. Unreal game from him tonight. One goal, undressing three defensemen, and then giving pucks to Backlund, giving pucks to Coleman. And I think Coleman had a decent good game as well, especially coming into his hometown, Texas, in Dallas. Invoke guy says sup, and then Johnny Goodrow says justice for Vladar. I'll keep the chat line open. If you want to talk about anything else, all the topics are wide open. If you want to talk about how my crazy month of February went, you can. If you want to talk about the trade deadline, if you want me to ask opinions, you can. If you want me to answer a question, you can. Or if you want me to ask you a question, I can. So a lot of different options as we interact you through this in the fourth and final period. Coming up next for the Flames is right away on Saturday against the Montreal Canadiens. It will be a 5 p.m. puck drop. It will be an interesting one, all Canadian matchup. Let's see what the out of turn scoreboard tells us right now against the Edmonton Oilers and Montreal Canadiens. It's tied at 2-2. So similar to this Dallas and Flames game, we'll see what Edmonton comes up with or Montreal Canadiens, and depending on that one of the team will be hungry for sure. Of course, the Flames will be hungry for some goals. I still remember Mark Coronado scoring two unanswered goals or even three to win against Montreal in overtime. I still remember that game. Let's see if they can do it again. And then the Vancouver Canucks for another All Canadian matchup. So a couple real close All Canadian matchups which will keep things interesting. And then we have the Avalanche, Maple Leafs, New York Rangers, Devils, Islanders, Kraken, Stars, Oilers, Avalanche, Utah, Anaheim Ducks, San Jose Sharks, Wild Sharks, Golden Knights, and then Kings to end off the regular season on April 17th, 2025. So I wonder, I'm just looking, I'll have to see if that last week is home games or not. My birthday is on April 14th. I always try to find a tradition to go to one Flames home game. I might have to go on a way before that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, trade deadline is coming. The Flames and their gauntlet road trip, if you want to call it, with a 2-2-2 record, taking on the Montreal Canadiens next. I think that will do it. Thanks for spending the Thursday evening with us. My name is Anand, your Game Over host. Thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe to all your friends for more content like this. Have a great evening. Take it easy. Have a good weekend as well. And we'll catch you all around.